Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Today is a home study day. Today is March the 10th. Tomorrow is Friday the 11th, and then Monday is March the 14th. So these are home study instructions for those days. So today is Thursday, and I'm going to start with all of the ELA work for Thursday, Friday, and Monday, and then I'll switch over to history. So for Thursday, you're going to work on your hidden figure summary. This week, we have been reading chapters 6 through 8, and while we've been reading, we have been taking some notes and then discussing those after. So here you should have your notes with you, and you're going to use the instructions in Google Classroom. So here we are in week 27 classwork. And if we scroll all the way to the bottom here, we have our Hidden Figures summary instructions. Now, this is going to tell you the sentences for sentence 1, introduce the chapters that we read and the central idea so far. Next sentence, introduce characters, then introduce key events. So please do follow these instructions. We are working on being concise and including only key or really important information to those chapters. So we want it to be no more than 7 sentences. 5 to 7 sentences is what we're looking for. All right. That is all you're doing today for ELA. Let's move on to Friday. You're going to do 2 things. 1, start your literature circle job sheet. As a reminder, our next meeting is the 17th, which is next Thursday. So that's when the completed sheet is due, but you do need to just start it during home study. If for some reason you accidentally didn't grab a job sheet before you left yesterday, I have them here. Again, we're in week 27 in classwork. Literature circle job sheets are right here, so you can print those at home. Easy peasy. All right, ReadWorks. You're going to be doing a ReadWorks article on a fight for voting rights. You're going to read the passage, do a vocabulary activity, and a very short set of comprehension questions. Nice and light, but good to practice our comprehension skills. So you will find the link to that ReadWorks right here in Google Classroom. Here we are, ReadWorks. The link is right there where you can complete the work. Some of you sometimes forget to click that submit button at the end. I can't grade it. It won't allow me to grade it until you've actually clicked the submit button. So make sure if you're working through it and you complete it, that you actually click the submit button at the end of that. Okay, that is all for Friday ELA. Let's just move on to Monday. For Monday, you're doing self-evaluations, and we chatted about these in class, but let's just take a look. Mid-year self-reflection is where it's located here in week 27 under classwork, and you have 2 items to complete. Please do this in Google Classroom. Please turn it in Google Classroom. So you will not bring these physically into me on Tuesday. You will do them online and then submit them that way. So here's the first form. This is where you are going to grade yourself. What grade do you think that you deserve in each of these areas? And I'm seeing here it says literature. Literature is those the books we're reading. So when we're doing our literature circles, literature is where that's where you're gonna put this grade for. You're going to grade yourself based on effort. Are you an expert? Are you a practitioner? Like you're pretty much there, but not yet an expert. Or are you novice? Is this sort of new to you? And then please do give evidence to support. If you're saying I deserve an A, give evidence to support that. Why? What have you been doing? Have you seen evidence of A's in my comments towards you when you're completing work? Why do you think that that is the grade that you will receive or that you deserve? Okay. If you're confused or need help again on the actual definitions of those grades that we go by, you can read those there. That's the first form. The second form is intellectual traits. So you're going to rate yourself in your intellectual traits. Remember the explanation or definition of what each of those is actually right here in the form. You're going to say if this is something that you not often do, you sometimes do, or always do. And for each box, you're going to give an explanation. So let's say you say in intellectual clarity, you always do this. You wouldn't give a goal or action plan. You would say how, prove to me that you always do this. So every time I complete work, I do this, and that shows intellectual clarity. So prove to me that you are always doing that. And if it's sometimes or not often, then that's when you're going to do some goals and action plans. So that's it for ELA for Monday. All right, let's go back to history. So we have been working on history lesson 19. We started our unit on ancient China this week, and you guys have been doing an awesome job. I'll just turn my camera so you can see all of your maps and graphs of China that you've been working on this week are there. Beautiful job. They really are lovely. So you took that information then and you started working on your packet in order to fill in information. You should have completed section all the way up to section 7 by yesterday. So today you should be working on section 8 and 9. And it does say using only your geographic poster, give 3 reasons that support this hypothesis. So some of this you're using your poster and some of it you're using the text. So make sure you're reading. And when it comes time for you to use your poster, don't forget that I took pictures of all of your posters and I put them in a file here. So if you go to Google Classroom in the stream, here is the link to that folder where you will find all of your posters located. So sections 8 and section 9 for Thursday. All right. On Friday, you're going to finish up this packet by doing the processing. And here we have a little bit of drawing, artwork, and some writing. So it says here, the Chinese often drew pictures on scrolls to illustrate the landscape. Choose 2 of China's geographic regions. So the scroll is split into 2. You're going to do one geographic location on one side and the other that you choose on the other side, okay? You are going to use at least 4 colors to illustrate the geography and way of life of each region. Make sure you're doing geography and way of life, okay? So it asks you to include physical features, climate, and vegetation. And then it also asks you to include clothing, food, shelter, and economic activities of people living in that region. So make sure you're looking at TCI and you're including that. I'm not going to grade you based on your art. We're not all fantastic artists. So if you're not the best artist, do make sure you label so I know what you're drawing, okay? If you label it, that just makes it easier for me to identify that you understood and completed the content fully. Below that says write a paragraph that describes the way in which the 2 regions are similar and different from each other. So this is a paragraph, a lovely paragraph with sentences written all together. We're looking for about 4 to 6 sentences total here. Use your race writing strategy, restate the question, answer the question fully, cite text evidence from the textbook, and then you summarize, use a sentence to close it all out, okay? All right, that is all for Friday for history. So here we are on Monday. So you have 2 things to do on Monday. We're moving right forward into the next lesson. So we'll be moving into the Shang Dynasty. And I gave everyone this piece of paper, this worksheet to start this lesson. You do not need to read the section in the textbook in order to complete this. It says, imagine you're an archaeologist in the year 3000 and you've recently unearthed several artifacts. Each relates to one characteristic of the civilization of the United States. In the chart, name an artifact for each characteristic of American civilization. Then tell what you think the artifact reveals about the characteristic it relates to. For example, if you found a crown, you would write in the what does this artifact reveal? This civilization might have been governed by a king or a queen, okay? So do fill this out. We did practice this in class, but if you have questions, feel free to come to my office hours. So that's step 1. Step 2 is a word pick. So do go to Google Classroom for this, back into classwork. We're in week 27, and it does have the Shang Dynasty word pick vocabulary. It has all the directions here. Remember, here's some word picks behind me. We need a full page that includes color that basically is a illustrated representation of the definition. Make sure you include the word somewhere on the page so I know what word you were illustrating. And then on the back side, you're going to write the definition from the textbook and an original sentence including the vocabulary word and the part of speech. So is it noun, verb, adjective, etc. And you can pick one of the words from the list here. That is all. Remember my office hours today. I'm going to be on in 20 minutes from 9 to 9:30. Tomorrow, Friday, also 9 to 9:30. And then on Monday, we do have training, so it's 8:30 to 9. I hope that you have a fantastic long weekend. I will see you on Tuesday, and we are going to go out with some music.